Welcome to Root You. With me today are a couple of my favoriteest people.
I'm not on here for the whole time. I just wanted to say hi to Dr. Arman and then I have to leave.
So,
Hi, Dr. Ram.
Hi, Dr. Arman. I wanted to make sure we read the medical disclosure.
Yeah.
But this is about you today, and I'm so excited about you doing this for everyone.
so we're going to talk about vitamin D today and its value, its importance, where you get it, but which root products actually have vitamin D in it, because many people ask about this. So let's dive into this a little bit. Would you like to do the disclaimer?
Yes, that's my one highlight of the day. The information is for educational purposes, intended as medical advice or a substitute for medical advice of a physician or other qualified health professional. This information should not be used for any other purposes. Clay, honestly, okay. Sorry, guys. I can't, Clay, because I can't read it, honey.
I'm trying to delete that one.
Okay.
There, now you can go.
You should not use this information for diagnosing a health or fitness problem or disease. I know he's like so in control, has to be. You should always consult with a doctor or other healthcare professional or medical advisor information about a diagnosis or treatment. Not to be used for sales or marketing purposes. Root does not claim to cure any diseases or illnesses. Sorry, Ted walked in and we both started laughing because Clayton has to be in charge moving it around.
No, I'm just getting rid of the people that are not on mute because Pat's not doing it right.
Oh my goodness. Anyway, we're teasing each other, but I hope you guys have a great call today with Dr. Arman. We are so excited about the doctor initiatives and these doctors stepping up to really highlight who they are and how amazing they are. And we really want the Root community to understand how fortunate we are as a community to have these doctors. So today's about Dr. Arman.
So do you want to do this too?
No, you can do it. Ted could do it.
I can't even read those words. Those are so big.
Well, I mean, how many jobs has he had?
It says, it's so funny, Dr.
He's a resident.
Dr. Arman, the first bullet point you guys can't read is
he's a physiotherapist.
Husband to wife. Husband to his wonderful wife and kids.
Is that not true?
That's the first bullet point you missed there, Doc.
Okay, because we love your wife, Dr. Arman. We all do.
Come
I
on.
know.
Pick
Yeah.
up your game. That's your first bullet point.
Me too.
I just.
Hajia is gonna strangle
That's
you a
your
little
first
bit later.
bullet point. Hodge's husband.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
Okay.
honestly, this community knows how impressive Dr. Arman is because he's done everything from integrative medicine to orthopedic trauma surgery, which in case you guys don't know, I'm sure most of you do, your orthopedic surgeons, your neurosurgeons, your transplant surgeons are some of the hardest working and most intelligent doctors out there because of what they have to do and how much they have to learn. So he's done everything from being a fitness coach to being an orthopedic doctor, to being a nutritionist and health coach, as well as doing integrative medicine. And he's a celebrity on Instagram.
Yeah, and the guy can do a ton of push-ups.
I was gonna
And
say.
he beats Ted in push-ups.
No.
Yes.
So, Doc Arman,
Yes.
we're turning
Let's
it
go.
over to you. The
Yeah.
floor is yours. Let's talk
Thank
vitamin D.
you. Thank you very much. Hello, everybody. And first of all, I would like to thank you for the invitation. It's, of course, a great honor to be here. Since December last year, I have been following almost every Root call, every doctor-to-doctor call, and I'm proud to be part of this community, part of this family. And please excuse my bad English. I'm trying very hard to improve it in the future. If I say something wrong, please feel free to correct me. If I don't know a word, I will say it in German, and you are welcome to tell me the English word for it. But I'm also using a cheat sheet here, so nothing can be wrong. I think many don't even know how special it is to get free education. It is special and should be appreciated. That's the first thing. And before I start the subject from today, I want to tell you a short story from my own, because it could be an inspiration for a few. As I was a teenager, I had a speech disorder. I stuttered. And so I was very afraid and was scared to speak in front of people, in front of more people than 3 or 4. And I was always scared and became red in the face. And yeah, it was a hard time. So it became a point that I started to make something, to change something. And I forced myself to speak also in front of a huge community and people. And I exercise, I practice, and I get better and better each day, every week, every month. And then it was no problem anymore to speak in front of people in German language. And then after that, I saw that it's still difficult, and I still stutter when I speak Persian, because my parents come from Iran. And when I started to speak Persian, I saw it's from the brain function, something else. So I had again to start practice and speak in front of Persian people, so that I learned not to stutter. And now I have the same feeling again as I was a teenager, because it's again another language. And I know it's for me very hard to speak English because of this speech disorder I had in the past. And it's again something that I have to force myself. But I couldn't force myself, because it wasn't a native language for me. Persian was native, German was native, but English not. So I needed someone to force me. And this person is Dr. Ram. So she forced me to do this Tuesday call, and so I appreciate it. Yes, Dr. Ram asked me 10 or 12 days ago, and since my holistic career started with the topic of vitamin D. In the first place, and many in Germany know me through this, I would like to tell something about this important natural substance today. I have created many YouTube videos for this purpose. However, these are all in German. Yeah, first of all, the disclaimer was told, but because we only want to educate here and not give recommendations for taking products that can be done by your doctor. We do not claim to cure any disease. So we start with the first slide. Yes, vitamin D is one of the most studied substances on the planet. Therefore, it's amazing that still many doctors have no idea about this vitamin or hormone. The only thing that all doctors think they know is that it could be quickly overdosed. Yes, it is incredibly safe, especially compared to medications, to drugs and pills. An overdose is possible, of course, as with any substance, but very, very difficult to implement. You can also overdose, for example, water. If you drink too much water in a very short period, you can also get sick. You can, in the worst case, you can die. So an overdose is always possible, but it's very, very difficult in this case. Vitamin D has been around for millions of years on this planet we call Earth. Life is only possible with vitamin D. Too little of vitamin D, a vitamin D deficiency, always leads to problems sooner or later. It can affect sleep, it can affect the bones and muscles, it can be the mind that suffers. You can improve your immune system or organs like the liver and the kidney. Yes, both organs need vitamin D and are not stressed by vitamin D, as some still believe. Our modern way of life has led to the fact that we can form less and less vitamin D. I will come to the next slide, Patrick, but you can go back again. I will tell you when we need the next slide. Thank you. Yes, whether it is through clothing, working in an office, or creams with UV protection, sunblocker, that we use too much on our skin. We are also getting older, and the skin is increasingly losing the ability to make vitamin D itself. That is why it is so important to use vitamin D nowadays, to use enough. not baby doses, but as nature, as God intended for us. That's very important. Now we can go to the next slide. We can briefly go over what happens in the skin, what it takes to be formed, and how it continues in the body. First, you see above, first we need enough UVB, sun. Yeah, we need the sun radiation on our skin. Whether we get enough depends on the latitude where we live. For example, in Germany, we can only build vitamin D through the skin from April, beginning of April, until end of September. Very short period. In the winter, we have no possibility to build vitamin D through the skin. And also in the middle of summer, end of June, beginning of July, we only can build the vitamin D from, for example, 10 a.m. until 4 p.m. afternoon. And it has to be a sunny day. If you have clouds, you can't build vitamin D anymore. That's very crucial. And as a guideline, we can say that the sun must be higher than 45 degrees on the horizon for enough UVB to arrive. Yeah, so you can turn your back to the sun and look to your shadow. When your shadow is shorter than your size, you know, okay, I can build vitamin D. Yeah, if you take naked skin into the sun. Yeah. This causes the formation of pre-vitamin D3 with the help of cholesterol, or better said, 7-dehydrocholesterol. Yeah, so you see, cholesterol isn't the bad guy. Cholesterol is necessary, and we need it, for example, for our brain function. We need it for our cell membrane, and also for all the steroid hormones like cortisol, like vitamin D, like testosterone, estradiol, progesterone, and so on. With the help of heat, yeah, or warmth, we can now turn the vitamin D, or the cholecalciferol, is then formed from the pre-vitamin D. Through heat, we can form the vitamin D. This is the vitamin D that we would also take orally as a supplement. This now goes on a nice journey through the body. First to the liver, is converted there into the storage form, the 25-dihydroxy vitamin D, also known as calcidiol. Then it continues in all body cells, and especially in the kidney. There it is converted again into the active hormone form that is known as the calcitriol. This is the active hormone form that can impact on the nucleus, on the genes. This is the 1,25-dehydroxy D3. Then it can activate or turn off genes through the nucleus. Our body can function properly. Now the next slide, please. Each of our cells has vitamin D receptors. And you can see it on the nucleus. There are vitamin D receptors. They are crucial. Why should we annoy our cells and withhold it from them? Yeah, that means every cell needs vitamin D, demands vitamin D. Don't do that. Listen to nature, not industry. Listen to your body, because every cell is highly intelligent. I claim even every atom. And when your cells communicate with you, then listen to them well. From a spiritual point of view, it is an absolute duty to take care of your own body. We are responsible for ourselves. No doctor or therapist. The therapist can support you, but you yourself are responsible. If I tell something here, then I report from my experience of many years, but this does not necessarily have to be true. No matter how much you like a person, he can also be wrong. Therefore, do not rest on what someone else tells you. Do your research and decide for yourself. So we have receptors on every cell. This consists of a heterodimer. You see that on the picture, which means you have two parts of these receptors. But for the receptor to become active and start a metabolic pathway, we need more than just vitamin D. The second part of the receptor needs vitamin A to activate. Without vitamin A, the receptor does not work. So it is not enough to have enough vitamin D. You also need a good amount of vitamin A. There are many reasons why vitamin D cannot work well. For example, if nutrients are missing, such as magnesium, boron, zinc, or silicon. But it can also be blockades caused by toxins that occupy, for example, the vitamin D receptor, or for the transport of the vitamin D binding protein. All these problems then lead to the fact that one often hears that someone does not respond to vitamin D or is so-called a low responder. These are often simply blockades and deficiencies of other nutrients. Our organism does not function with only one substance. It is always an orchestra, an interplay of many factors. We are complex and we must always keep that in mind when thinking about health. In the end, we need to know the cause and fix the root causes of problems. Next slide, please. Yeah, it is important to understand why vitamin D is an all-rounder. It's because vitamin D works epigenetically in our cells. That means it activates the reading of genes or deactivates the reading of genes. This allows proteins to be made that are beneficial to us, or protein biosynthesis is stopped for proteins that are unfavorable. Yeah, you see here the heat map. It's a little bit in German, but I can explain. You see the genes from 3 people who are in a low vitamin D level, not expressed. And if you level up the vitamin D level, so you see that more than 200 genes are activated now, so they can produce proteins that could be very beneficial for us. And one example is a transport protein that are made to better absorb calcium in the gut, for example. Many who have too little vitamin D, therefore also have too little calcium. And calcium is very important for us. Often the doctor gives calcium supplements for calcium deficiency, but this is not very smart and can even be very dangerous if high amounts of calcium are given in isolation. It can lead to deposits in the tissue, in the soft tissue, and blood vessels. It would be wiser to give vitamin D first if there is a calcium deficiency. With a good vitamin D level, we usually see that the calcium level also improves again. A separate calcium supplement is usually not necessary at all. Okay, we can go to the next slide. Yeah. These are the products which have D3, vitamin D included in the ingredients. Yeah, go back again. When it finished. Yeah, and there are so many people who ask me, could I have an overdose when I use all 3 products? It's not possible. If you take the whole package of the natural barrier support, of course you can overdose, but it's if you take the recommended dose, it's no problem. Also, when you take every day, every 3 products, yeah? There's enough vitamin D, but not too much that it could be a problem for us. I also recommend with a vitamin D intake to make sure that you have enough vitamin K2. And there are 3 important sources for this. First, it's vitamin K1 through greens. Yeah? In green vegetables, you have vitamin K1. This can be converted, a part of it can be converted in K2. Not too much, but a part of it. It can be cabbage, it can be kale, or other green vegetables. And so we have this one. I hope you can see it. It's the real leaf greens. So we have a lot of greens and you get a lot of K1. So you can convert it into K2. The second possibility is via a very good microbiome. We have bacteria in our gut and our intestine that can produce K2 by itself. So when we have a good microbiome, we can also build by ourselves K2. It would be the second source. So you can use again real leaf greens. You can use Restore for the gut. You can use Clean Slate. You can use Give Me Back My Youth. Yeah, all these products can be beneficial for the gut and also for the microbiome, and they can produce K2. And yeah, if we have a well-functioning microbiome and the right composition, so the intestinal bacteria can produce vitamin K2 in a good quantity. And the third source could be, or is it to use a supplement with K2? This is here the mitochondrial defense shield. And we have there not only vitamin D, we have magnesium and also K2 in it. Okay, now we can go to the next slide. Okay, yeah. I recommend aiming for a vitamin D level of about 60 to 100 nanogram per milliliter. There are doctors who aim for much higher levels in cases of cancer or autoimmune diseases. For this, they also give very high doses of vitamin D. This can work very well if you know what you're doing. The only parameter that indicates too much D3 is not the vitamin D level, but the calcium level. If this does not rise too high, then nothing negative can happen. If the calcium level rises sharply, then we get, for example, increased urination, nausea, or vomiting. It is not immediately dangerous. If you then reduce the vitamin D again for a few days, the symptoms disappear again. So don't be afraid of vitamin D. Vitamin D loves you, and you should love vitamin D. It is nature and has been with us for millions of years. Next slide, please. Okay, yeah, there are so many studies that show how many diseases can be prevented and treated if you have good vitamin D levels. You can also watch, if you can understand the German language, you can see a lot of YouTube videos from me about any disease, any problems that could be solved with the help of vitamin D, that could be prevented through vitamin D. It behaves similarly to the detoxification of the body. It is not necessary to ask what disease can be improved through detoxification, because it always involves the whole body, all organ system, and honestly speaking, the mind and soul, because we want to enable the body to function better again. If the body gets the resources to do again by itself what nature intended, then we can regenerate or stay healthy. It is similar with vitamin D. We are just giving the body the resources to function again. A key to the genes, a key to the natural processes. Without this key, you are handicapping yourself. You can't realize your full potential. And that's all we want to do. No magic, no miracles. We are just giving the body that what it has needed for millions of years. The miracle is our body itself. Our body is a miracle when it has everything it needs and all blockades disappear. Your body performs true miracles. Yes, you can do the next slide. You see these are examples for studies. We could take hundreds or thousands of studies if you look at PubMed or other platforms. like grassroots health, you will find a lot of studies and papers about vitamin D and how it impacts your health. Yeah, so let's summarize. You can go to perhaps to the first slide again, and we can summarize it. The most important thing to know about vitamin D, and then after that we can also make a Q&A, answering questions if you want. It is essential for life. Vitamin D is essential for life. Almost all people today have too little vitamin D due to our lifestyle. A deficiency leads to all kinds of diseases. A good vitamin D level, on the other hand, keeps us healthy. We see it in indigenous people, nature people, and animals. In nature, there's no vitamin D deficiency. Therefore, there is no cancer and no autoimmune diseases in nature. The recommendations of the authorities are much too low. This has been proven many times. Some recommendations are based on simple calculation errors. Nevertheless, unfortunately, this is not corrected. Therefore, we should take personal responsibility and decide for ourselves what is good for us. The experience and all the data show that. It is obvious that nature offers us everything we need to stay healthy or to become healthy. Yes, that's that's it. And if you want, we can make a Q&A if there are any questions. I'm now only on the mobile phone. It's a little bit small, but if you can, perhaps Patrick or Clayton, read some questions the people have, we can answer it together. I would like to know if I should leave off my 20,000 unit vitamin D supplement that I take once a week. It's crucial to understand that vitamin D works most efficiently if we take it daily, not weekly, not monthly, daily. First, it would be too less with 20,000 a week because it's about 3,000 a day. And I know Birgit has not the weight she had some years ago, but you need more than this. You need a little bit more than 3,000, and it should be daily. It should be daily because the vitamin D itself can also go into the cell. It doesn't have to be converted, the whole vitamin D, into the active form. Dr. Bruce Willis from the United States is a researcher about vitamin D, and he researched that it's necessary that we take it daily because it can also go into the cell and has a half-life from only 1 or 2 days, the vitamin D, the cholecalciferol. One person is asking in German if vitamin D is also good against depression. Yeah, there are a lot of studies that show this, also clinical trial, so that we can say, yeah, if you have someone who has depressions, you can give him vitamin D, and maybe it could be that the mood gets better. What number level of vitamin D we get with all root products on a daily basis? It's individually. It depends on your weight, on your diseases, how much you use. So it can't be told for everyone. We can only make recommendations that are very common. But if you really want to know it exactly, you can measure it through the blood level, and you can try to be in a position between in a range between 60 and 100 nanogram per milliliter. I take 1,000 units in the morning and also in the evening. Furthermore, I take all the root products. Is this too much? Is it the same question? No, it's very difficult to take too much. It's not that easy. The question should always be, could it be less or too little, but not too much. It's not too much, no. Yeah, in German, when someone's asked, in case of infection, you can rise the vitamin D also as zinc and vitamin C through, for example, the natural barrier support, and also take the MDS, the mitochondrial defense shield, to prevent or to get fit faster. What is your opinion to vitamin D supplementation and adrenal gland weakness? It's where vitamin D means life. You can take it always. There's only one disease you should be a little bit vorsichtig, be careful. It's the I don't know the English term, sarcoidosis. Yeah? Then you should don't take 10,000 or 20,000. So try to limit it on the weight 2,000 to 5,000. It's the only disease. Should you take K2? Someone asked in German, when you take 3,000 units of vitamin D. Yes, as I told, it's necessary, but you have 3 sources, and I read it, and I told you what the sources would be. So you can take the mitochondrial defense shield and look that you have a good gut, a good intestine, a good microbiome, so you don't get a lack of vitamin K2. Yeah, it's good, or it's better to take vitamin D with a fatty meal, a meal where something like fat is in that meal, so you can absorb it better. So the body sees, okay, there's something fatty is coming, and they can use the enzymes for the fat to take the vitamin, the fatty vitamin like K2, like vitamin A and vitamin D. There are some heavy questions. I don't know if I can answer it. My nature's answer: oil drops, recommend 2 drops per day. Is that enough for an adult male in his 50s? It depended how many units a drop has, but if it's only 1,000, it would be a dosage for a small child. Like lots of butter, yeah, butter is good. In German, someone says this, that her doctor said when she was pregnant, she shouldn't take vitamin D or too much vitamin D. It's especially in the pregnancy, it's very crucial to get enough vitamin D, because you're not alone, you are 2-person, and your child needs it to develop well. Yes, I want to ask which symptoms you can get if you have too much vitamin D. I told before that it could be that you need to go to the toilet and more urine and nausea and vomiting. This could be signs that it is too much. Then you can measure the calcium level in your blood, and if it's too high, you can, you have a very nice skin. Okay, thank you. Then you can lower your vitamin D level dosage, and after some days, all symptoms are gone. Okay. Any questions? Yeah, someone that's a good question. I think I was surprised that both my teenagers had a lack of vitamin D at the end of this very sunny summer. Also, they spend a lot of time outside. That's what I meant. It's important that it's at afternoon. The sun has to be higher than 45 degrees on the horizon, and so that enough UVB reaches your skin. And a lot of people think if I'm going at the morning in the sun or at the evening and I have my clothes on, you can build vitamin D. That's not possible. You have to see the nature people who are at the close to the equator. There you can build a lot of vitamin D, and daily 10,000, 20,000 units are no problem to build if you have a functional skin, young skin, and so try to keep your skin also healthy and young. Okay, is it okay? Enough? I don't know how long I should make the Q&A. It's okay for me, but I don't want that it's perhaps for the record too long. Okay, I would say thank you very much. And Patrick, any words, or Clayton? Everyone is gone.
Doc Arman, I'm here with you. I never
Okay.
leave. I might be doing other things, but I am always here by your side.
Okay.
I have no other words. This was a great call. I appreciate you giving us so much information on vitamin D. And it was a pleasure to finally see you up on stage.
It was a pleasure for me. And I hope you all have a nice day and evening, and hope to see you everybody soon in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
everyone. Have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday. I'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.